Let's teach you how to use Inferno Dragons to earn more triples with the Inferno Drag Bat. What's going on, guys? My name's Corrupt. Yes, we are talking all on Inferno Dragons, and this is an attack strategy that is probably my favorite right now. Inferno Dragons with the bat spells is a devastating combination. Now, what are you looking for to use this attack? Well, you want to look for Splash. This is going to include the Eagle Artillery, the Wizard Towers, Multi-Infernos, and of course, the Town Hall. Now, there are a couple things to be very careful of. One of which is going to be the Sweeper. You want to be able to make sure that you know exactly where that is, because it could provide a lot of defensive support and it could force a lot of your Inferno Dragons to go on the outside, and you don't want that. Makes it a little bit easier for them. Also, make sure to freeze up defensive structures, mainly the Wizard Towers and Multi-Infernos. If you don't do so, you won't be able to get through, and definitely make sure to get rid of the Town Hall, because your bats will get absolutely fried against them. Now, the next main thing after this is creating the funnel. You're going to be using an E-Drag and Heroes on two particular sides. That way, you can send all your Inferno Dragons in. You may have noticed already, this is a very fast attack. So we'll pause it here and there to give you guys up to speed in terms of what is going on. So for starters, you're going to be using an Electro Dragon on one side to create the funnel. Then you're also going to be using your heroes with an Ice Golem on the other. This is enough to create and establish a nice funnel for your Inferno Dragons to start coming in. Now, you are going to be using a couple less balloons. The balloons are there only to soak up Seeking Air Mines, because that is what can take down these Inferno Dragons. Now, the main thing here is if you're going in away from the Town Hall, which I would always highly recommend, you want to use the blimp so you can take care of the Town Hall. Make sure, though, that the blimp doesn't pop too soon, or else that could ruin your entire attack. So you want to be able to make sure that you're able to get all the way across. Using the Warden Eternal Tome is a great choice, because Inferno Dragons and the blimp will benefit from it. Even though, unfortunately, here, he had the blimp go off right in the core of the base when he really didn't want to. But he had some wall breakers in there to actually get through that compartment and open it up. Then he has some Inferno Dragons to kind of help and support the bats towards the back end. Now, this is really where you're able to start using your bat spells. You want to look for areas where there isn't that much point defense. As an example here, you want to be able to use those free spells over the Wizard Towers and, of course, the Multi-Infernos. You want to be able to make sure that you have enough of your bats to sweep through the base. This is really where the Inferno Dragons have a lot more sort of control with what they can get rid of now that some of the defenses are completely out of the way. And even if some of the bats do start to die out from the Town Hall, you've got the Inferno Dragons that are going to absolutely roast it. And that really just goes to show how strong this attack is. If you want to use Inferno Dragons, if you wanted to boost them up, now is the time, because now you can use Inferno Dragons with the bats. Some of you may be asking, what about the skeleton spells? Can I use them instead of the bat spells? Well, it's a bit of a coin toss. It really depends on the base. As an example, if you're seeing all single Infernos, this is probably a better attack to use. It's going to be a little tougher because you don't have the Royal Champion like at Town Hall 13, but in this case, you may want to use this versus the singles. As an example, this area here, you can get rid, or at least distract, all of these buildings, which is incredibly strong. You also want to make sure that you're going towards the Eagle Artillery, because that is a big defense to get rid of. Along with that, of course, the Town Hall is as well. But the Eagle, if you leave it up for a longer period of time, it could shred through your Inferno Dragons. So you want to make sure that you are getting through with it with no problem at all. Now, the other thing that you want to do is create the funnel on two different sides. So you're going to use the Electro Dragon on one side to create a nice funnel with the chain, and then you're going to use the king and queen on the other. Now, if you want to bring an ice golem, you can do so as well. It's pretty much one of the better ways to create a funnel, and that way what you're able to then do is start moving in with your Inferno Dragons. Now, the best part here about Inferno Dragons is that they can really melt through a large area of the base. So you want to start on one side with the Electro Dragon, very similar to the Bat Spell one, and then you can use your heroes to create the other side of the funnel. Notice that my hero levels are very, very low. I only have a level 47 King, 52 Queen, and a 25 Grand Warden. So this does work with low level heroes, but I would recommend max level heroes if I were you. And it's of course going to be way more base dependent than the Bat Spell version, where you can use it with low level heroes. Usually you want to start off by using the Rage spell early and then the Warden Eternal Tome. You're going to protect the balloons and Inferno Dragons and, the most important thing, the Battle Blimp. Those are things that are very important to get through. And you'll see from here, even though my ability doesn't last for nearly as long, it's only like 5.5 seconds, it should last longer if you have a max Warden. And you can see here how we have the skeleton spells distracting buildings, the expos, the single infernos. Those are defenses that you should be using the skeleton spells on. And free spells can be used on other defenses, like as an example here, the air defenses, because they're a major threat to the Inferno Dragons. But you want to basically time your skeleton spells. Maybe use them in order to make sure that you are distracting buildings. Be very careful though of wizard towers, because those things will lock onto the skeletons and make it a lot easier for the base to defend. So you want to be able to make sure that you're freezing splash buildings or air defenses for Inferno Dragons and splash buildings for the skeletons. So just be very careful of that. Something that I learned through this. But you can see that the Inferno Dragons are doing a great amount of work. The issue though was this air defense, and I should have saved a free spell for it, or even better timed it. I suck at timing, so don't blame me for not being able to have a smooth triple when I'm not really the best player. But you can see from here, either way, the queen on like a sliver of health, not 1 HP, but still in the red, can still get it done. And we got some little Larrys over here trying to get through the wall. They're not going to do so, but the queen will, and she'll be able to finish off the attack. But this is a really precise attack that really comes down to you and how you are attacking with this. I just prefer the bat spells over anything. Now, separate base design from this, we have this base design here with a more offset Inferno Tower. Now, the main thing is, remember, you are looking for splash damage. So as something that you want to look at, you want to look at all of the placement of all these key buildings. So wizard towers, the eagle artillery, inferno towers, the town hall, all of these are very important. Along with this, where are the sweepers pointing? That's going to help you identify, do I need to use a freeze? Do I need to use the warn ability early? And we see that one sweeper is pointing this way, so that might be a sweeper that's going to cause us some problems. This one down here won't be that big of a deal. So you'll start off again with the use of the Electro Dragon up top, creating the funnel in order to make sure that you're able to get through, and then you're going to use your heroes and the Ice Golem. This is going to be enough to control where your Inferno Dragons will go towards. So that way it's a little bit easier, you're able to funnel them in, that way it's so much easier for the rest of your attack. So you want to make sure that you're able to use the Warden Eternal Tome when you start sending in that Battle Blimp. The reason for this is because the Blimp can still be popped really a little bit towards the core of the base if you don't use it. It's to preserve its health, which you should do, especially if you're going into an area of higher DPS. So before it leaves the Warden aura, use the ability so it can protect the Blimp and also some of the Inferno Dragons. And you'll see they can take care of the Town Hall with no problem at all. Now the Town Hall will go down. So at this point, where do you start your bat spells? You wouldn't want to start them towards the Town Hall, though that could be a good option. Take a look at where the majority of the splash is, right in this part of the base. So you want to go in for this area. So you're going to be going ahead and using the freeze spells. Don't miss your freeze because you do not want a lot of these bats to get absolutely roasted. Sometimes they may split, and that could really force you to use another heal elsewhere, but you have a lot of free spells, so you have the opportunity to use a bit more in terms of, you know, your bat spells, so you don't need to really worry all too much. Now, I was watching this one live, and I couldn't believe it. I thought that this was going to be a fail, and for some reason, the bats are just able to finish off the base, even though all the heroes and the Inferno Dragons all died out. I mean, I can't even fathom this, but the bat spells are so strong. With the Inferno Dragons, they can actually gut a base out. And the bats here were just so clutch, able to deal with the enemy lava pups, and then also go ahead and then take down the enemy queen, and then also go from there and go all the way over to the gold storage and take that down. That is just proof of how strong these little guys and also the Inferno Dragons can be. They absolutely shred bases, and this is something that you could possibly try out right now in your wars. Alright guys, let's see if Pekkachu can 3-star this base here live. So he's going to start off with the Electro Dragon. He's going to create the funnel here on this side. Then he's going to go ahead and use the Ice Golem, King and Queen on the other. And then let's see what he's going to be able to do. He's already got a nice solid path for the Inferno Dragons to go right the way through the base. Let's see, so he's going to be starting off with a couple balloons, making sure that he's able to soak up any Seeking Air Mines. Now he's got the use of the Blimp. He's going to use the Warden Eternal Tome very early, but he's going to be able to easily start working his way in. Let's see here. He's got the use of... He already used the Warden Eternal Tome, so he's going to be able to make his way all the way over to the Town Hall. Is he going to be able to get rid of it? It looks like he will be able to get there successfully, and he's got the Town Hall down. Wow, the Inferno Dragons are absolutely shredding through some of these back-end areas here. I don't even think he needs those bat spells. Yo, this is incredibly strong. Take a look at this. He's going to be able to continue to work his way all the way around. Needs to drop a freeze on that multi, and there you go. That is it. That's a GG right there for Pekkachu, showing that this attack works incredibly well. Even though my base was not maxed at all, it is still a very strong army that still works very well against max level bases. But man, that just goes to show how strong this is. Now another example here is against this one, and this is kind of like what my home village is right now, so this really is incredibly powerful. Again, remember, you want to look at those key objectives like I've mentioned throughout the video. You want to get rid of the Eagle Artillery, multi-Infernos, as many as you can, but you don't need to worry because you got 5 free spells. Then you also want to get rid of the Town Hall. Now, as I said earlier, if there's a single, you don't need to worry about it. If it's all single Infernos, this is probably one of the better attacks for this, since you can just overwhelm them with much more dragons than you would with a Dragbat. So the main goal here is just to find an area that you want to charge into and create the funnel. Like in this case here, creating the funnel here and over here is the best choice, so you can enter right in towards the Town Hall. So in this case here, this could be a little bit overkill, but he's going to start off with the E-Drag in order to create the funnel on one side. Then he can create the other side of the funnel using the heroes. He can take advantage if there are any holes in the base. That way he's able to then go ahead and start sending in the Inferno Dragons. Then he can start sending, really just using the Rage spell if he wants to with the Inferno Dragons. I know that's fairly strong, but making sure that you're able to get all the way across the base is incredibly important. Using the Warden Eternal Tome so you can get through a sweeper with no problem. Maybe you could use a free spell there. That way you're able to get right the way over to it and get rid of the Town Hall using the Yeti Bomb or the Yeti Blimp by using that Rage spell. And take a look here for just a split second. Queen's going to be getting rid of this here. What other splash outside of this one Wizard Tower and this other Wizard Tower? He completely gutted the base with just Inferno Dragons alone. That goes to show how incredibly powerful Inferno Dragons can be, of course on the right base, but this attack is just on a whole nother level. Absolutely, it's incredibly strong. He didn't need the bats. He had 4 free spells, and he was able to really get through. Of course, having the bat spells is nice to get through the back end, but, I mean, when you've got the bats easily working themselves through, practically, you don't even need free spells at this point, even though, of course, he kind of, you know, lets some of them get taken down. But either way, it is extremely good, and you could just see the raw power of using the Inferno Dragons. It is something that is fairly underrated now, and is now even more possible now that I'm starting to bring you guys this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell. Let me know what you guys want to see next down in the comments below, and make sure to use code CORRUPT in any Supercell game, and I'll be catching you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.